Hey, Shalom Israel. First, I'm going to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Outside, Ba'Shem Kakodash. I want to see Pastor Elder Millstone, peace, salutation to one third of Israel. For this lesson, I don't know what I'm going to title it yet, but came across this post. It says, in the U.S., adultery is a felony in Michigan, Wisconsin, and in Oklahoma. All right, and this goes to show you how divided this kingdom is ultimately. And how much of a hypocrite Esau is, because ultimately adultery it's more than a felony. It's an act worthy of death. All right, and the fact that it's only in 3 states is pretty crazy, and only a felony. All right, and it proves and goes to prove to you that this man, he's not fit to rule. Because how do you have certain states that tolerate certain things? What is this nigga do? Get up, move, nigga. How do you have certain states that tolerate certain things, but other states don't? When the whole term the United States, the term united basically means to be, together, stand as one. But obviously this kingdom is divided. All right, and it's all the Lord's will. But let me look up the word, or let me look up the actual penalty for adultery. All right, this is Leviticus 20:10. It says, "And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife," so you have sex with another man's wife, "even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death." All right, and it's plain and simple, This judgment basically keeps it places order. All right, Spirit 441. But it places order, amongst the people. But you see here in Babylon, adultery is committed every day. As I'm making this video, adultery is happening. And that's why the Lord got to destroy this sinful kingdom. All right, because this shit the sins have reached up to heaven. All right, and just for Esau to place that shit is like you're not doing nothing. All right, what is that to do? Declare, I believe it's Psalms 50, I believe. There you go. This is Psalms 50:16. It says, "But unto the wicked, said the Most High," and who's the wicked? Esau, Edom. All right. It says, "What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee?" All right. I believe there's a scripture that says he has no heart for it. But I'm just gonna quote it. Low willing, whoever's watching this, put it in the comment board. But Esau, he don't righteousness and Esau do not mix. You don't get the term the wicked for no reason. You get the term wicked for being wicked. That's why it says in Jeremiah, "Can the Ethiopian change his skin? Can the leopard change his spot? So may he that is accustomed to do wicked do good." He can't do it. It's not in him. All right. But in the kingdom, which is gonna be ruled by Yahushua, 144,000 on down. Lord willing, that's us. We gonna show the world how it's supposed to be ran. All right. Because ultimately, that's in this world. That wasn't for me. But let me just get the scripture. All right. This is Deuteronomy. Damn, I can't speak. Deuteronomy 4:5. It says, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord, Yahweh my power, commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." All right, and ultimately, in the kingdom, the order for the way the earth is going to be governed is through the law, statutes, commandments. All right, and it's going to benefit everybody, except it's going to benefit everybody. I was going to say, except Esau, which it's true because he's fucked either way. He's not going to be able to enjoy, the kingdom after that 1,000-year period. All right, after the 1,000-year period, that nigga's going to get eradicated. All right, pursuing the Obadiah 1 and 18. All right, but this heathen nation, they gonna be able to live. They gonna be able to enjoy the earth. All right, because it's being ran in its righteous order. Right now the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Job 9 and 24. And a point that came up just now is in this kingdom, a woman can commit adultery on you, and you can't do anything about it. And she can commit adultery on you, take half your shit, take your kids, take everything from you, and you can't do nothing about it. That's unrighteous. But in the kingdom, that ain't gonna happen at all. There's a judgment for that. There's gonna be a penalty for that. If you want to sleep with another man's woman, well, you gonna taste death. All right. This is 7th verse. It says, "For what nation is there so great, who at the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon Him for." All right. And another quick point too is, what God is blessing America. This, as we read in Leviticus, the 20th chapter about adultery, or I believe it's the 10th chapter. One of those, I just read it. But you think the Lord is for this place? This kingdom, is so anti-Hamashiach, anti-Yahushua, anti-Yahweh Bashim outside. Says law says don't eat pork. Babylon's signature dish is pork. Abominable foods. Scriptures say don't commit adultery. This place is called the mother of harlots. So of course there's gonna be harlots, gonna be adultery, all that shit. All right. So that's why the Lord got to reset this place. All right. Let me go to Proverbs 29 and 2. This is Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn." And this, further backs up what I said about, the heathens. They're gonna enjoy the kingdom, to a degree, but not like us Israelites, because we're gonna be ruling. All right. But these heathens, y'all gonna be able to enjoy clean water, clean air. You're not gonna be fucking subject to a 9 to 5 where you just wanna. You're gonna be able to live, all right. But us Israelites, we're gonna be able to enjoy paradise for sure, all right. Because that's who the kingdom's for. It's for us, Getting with the elect on down, But let me go to Proverbs 6. All right, because ultimately, there's no fear of the Lord in this land, so that here, henceforth, that's why people do what they do. All right, Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the hearts of the sons of men is fully set on them to do evil. So that's how this place operates. There's no judgment for committing adultery here in Babylon. You got a felony. Like, that's a slap on the wrist. The Lord, but it's okay though, because the Lord, He's coming back to judge this place. All right, no one goes unpunished, and that's what the Lord's about to do. Hence, all the evil He's about to bring. 2nd Ezra 15th chapter says, "Woe to the world," or that's in the latter part. But it says, "The Lord shall bring plagues upon the earth, because wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the earth. The hurtful words are fulfilled." So, hey, this place then racked up its tab. All right, so the Lord gotta bring vengeance on this place. All right, because this shit is all out of whack. Women committing adultery in general, that's just fucking disgusting. All right, I'm just say bluntly, or plainly. All right, so this is Proverbs 6 and 32. It says, "But whoso committeth adultery with but the woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. All right, because there's a judgment for it. You know, like these niggas that think, oh, you know, I'm gonna get away with it, bro. You got a price to pay. That's not something light, you know, because the Lord, He's, you know, when a man and a woman come together, that's a union, you know, and you just polluted that shit, you know. That's why the scripture says in Jeremiah, it says, shall a man basically take back, you know, a woman that basically left him, committed adultery with him, you know, slept with another man? No, you know, because it's polluted now, you know. It's polluted now. And Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it's polluted. All right, so this place gotta go. All right, and it's fastly approaching. All right, so, but let me keep reading. It says, a wound and dishonor will he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. All right, you get a bad rep for that. All right, because that's not cool at all. That's not, you know, honorable. You know, that's just wicked. It says, for jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore we will not spare in the day of vengeance. And that's how you know it's wicked. You know, this place is wicked because when a man gets vengeance, you know, say a woman then committed adultery on him, and the man, he ain't sparing nobody, as we're about to read. You know, he kills the man and the woman. He gets sentenced, you know, for a count of murder or some shit. Like, this shit wicked. But ultimately, you know, in the scriptures, as we're reading, there's nothing wrong with that. They have to be put to death. It says, he will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. All right, because that was totally disrespectful, you know, and you know, that was like a knife in the back. You know, that's betrayal. You know, so of course a man's not gonna take gifts and shit like that. You know, that's, as we just read. Jealousy is rage of a man. All right, so hey, that's the judgment for it. So, but honestly, you know, I'm gonna listen here. This place gotta go, and it's about to go real soon. All right, but in the kingdom, that shit ain't gonna be heard of. You know, going away scot free. You know, committing adultery and just being wickedness is gonna wickedness is coming to an end. You know, let me get that. Or wickedness will come to an end. I'm still trying to slack you. I'm thinking about the title right now. Actually, I'll just end it off right here. You got a lot of demons on the road right now. But yeah, I'll just end it here, slack you. You know, but yeah, we give all praise and glory to you. How about you? Next time, shalom.